What have you made of them so far, just coming into the league campaign, unbeaten, but perhaps not with the results we would have wanted?
I don't think it's been a slow start. I think everybody wants to be in Europe. I thought the season last year, after obviously a real poor start, delighted that there was patience when it came to Dave, and it was the right patience because it proved that way. I thought they had a terrific season. I always think because you want to be in Europe, you then have that wee bit of hangover. I thought some of the performances were brilliant. Obviously, you naturally go back to the Kenny Bowie goal and the electric atmospheres at Easter Road. I think the boys have really set a high standard. The problem is that then has a wee hangover when it comes to domestically. I think people have to understand that. When you're playing Thursday nights, the highs to then back it up domestically is tough. I think Celtic Park, albeit rode their luck, good point. You then go to Tynecastle, which, when you think of a part of a season, this is a real turning point, I think, for them. But the game is obviously still to come. But I do think the squad that Dave has put together, the backing for the Gordons, the backing for the Black Knights, Malky Mackay in the background doing a terrific job. I do think they'll get to where they want to get to this season. I just don't think it'll quite be as high as it was last season, just because they were terrific. They've had to deal with Europe. It stretches the squad. It's just the way it is. I know fans don't want to hear that, but it's difficult to play in Europe to then back it up domestically. So now that's out the road, I don't expect anything other than the Hibs to start putting some results together.
Do you think that level of expectations just heightened because of what they did last season and then the results in Europe, or even just the performances in Europe? Does that then sort of like raise the bar even higher for Willis?
It does, and I think that's what you want. You want the fans to get excited. You want. I think they've got good assets. I think Josh Mulligan has been terrific since he come in. Bowie's obviously had his injury last year. He's now hit the ground running. You know, Boyley just seems to be getting better and better. He's like a fine wine, whether it be his hair, whether it be he's certainly what a brilliant asset to have. I know he's a leader in the dressing room. I know he's well respected. So when you try to put a good squad together, you need the type of people. When you look across the side of the city, Dell's managed to get Shankland to sign a new deal. He's a leader. He's well respected. I think Boyley's got that same prestige at Easter Road. So intriguing game, a difficult game, because obviously Hearts have made a brilliant start, but one that I'm sure the players will be relishing, Dave will be relishing. If you get on the wrong end of it, I don't think it'll be the narrative for the season. I think they've still got loads of scope to grow and to get better, and I've got no doubt the results will start to come.
After a result like they had against Celtic, is going away to Hearts, is that the best thing you can hope for to come afterwards, just to kind of keep that momentum going, or is there never really... Is it always a good time to play Hearts when you're at Hibs?
I used to love the derbies, and then I'm not thinking too far back. I never had brilliant success in them. Loved playing in them, loved the old Tynecastle, not lucky enough to play in the new one. But as a player, I think when you go to Celtic Park, and I can almost envision what it would have been like sitting in the bus. There would be tired bodies, but they'll be delighted with a point. The professionals, they'll know they need to back that up. They'll know the expectation of the Hibs fans. Dave knows that better than anyone. And it's a difficult game because it's one that, albeit in recent terms, they've had a good record at Tynecastle, a good record against Hearts. I think form goes out the window, really. I just think sometimes the games are a bit blood and thunder. They lack a wee bit of quality at times, so you need a bit of luck. But certainly going there with people like Grant Hanley, Rocky Bashiri, will certainly give Hibs a good platform to bowl for, because they're the type that you're going to need in these games.
You obviously played alongside Dave when you were at Hibs for a time. You've managed yourself. What have you made of his sort of start in management and as a sort of head coach in his own right?
Well, one, I think he's obviously massively respected. We know he scored that goal, but I think if you even take that goal away as an isolation, which was a special day for obviously all the Hibs fans, I think he's a wonderful character. I think he's a winner. He trains hard. He's a manager's kind of dream when he was as a player. And he probably fell in love with Easter Road before he even got that opportunity to score that goal, which put him into the legend status forever. I think it's a special club when you get to represent it. We stay in a lovely city. You've got an arch rival that's just across the road that gives you that to and fro right through the season, because you want to finish above them. There's brilliant rivalry between the fans. But I do think I don't think he'll look back thinking he's lucky when he went through the bad spell, but I think in time he'll look back and think it was a good period to go through because he got out the other side. He'll have learnt a lot about himself, he'll learnt a lot about the players, and I don't think he'll have had as many sleepless nights as he did in that period. So I don't think whatever you throw at Dave now will ever knock him sideways, if that makes sense. I think he's seen it all, which is great for him, because I've got no doubt he's going to go on and have a long, successful managerial career. I think he's made the right way, he speaks the right way. But ultimately, he knows the same as everybody else, when you're involved in management, you need to get results.
And just, you mentioned the signings they made during the summer that have brought a lot of midfielders in. What have you made of the likes of Jamie McGrath, Josh Mulligan, Miguel Chilwell, Dan Barlasso? We've not seen that much of Dan, but just, that sort of good quality players have come in.
Real good quality. I think Josh Mulligan's been terrific. He was one that I know that Celtic and Rangers had a look at. I think they've done brilliant to get his signature. I think he'll go on and make Hibs a couple quid. I think Bowie will be the same. It's brilliant to have big assets, I think, and more so when these guys score goals. I've always been a big fan of Jamie McGrath. I don't think it would be, not right to say, but I think he's underachieved at different times. He's had a few injuries, he's been a wee bit stop-start, but every time I've seen him, I've always thought there was a brilliant player in there. Delighted he's obviously now at Hibs, and I think it will give him a real good platform to go and shine. I know he's obviously international. But I do think the way they've recruited, Triantis was obviously one that the fans were desperate to see come back. He was a real powerhouse in the middle of the pitch, a real ball winner, bags of legs, bags of energy, someone that never got pushed about. I think of them going to air, Scotty and Whitty, and Triantis crashes into a tackle in the first couple of minutes. We're obviously watching the game on the telly, so I'm thinking, I like that. He had a bit about him, and I know he obviously become a real fan's favourite. So when you lose a player like that, to then recruit the players that they've done, which is a never-ending cycle when you're obviously at Hibs, I think they've done really well.